let's actually do the official start here. I'm Aaron Ross. And also I've got on the line Marylou Tyler. The webinar, it's all about triple your results with a predictable outbound sales machine. And the reason we say triple your results is because Marylou, just to tell you a little bit about her before we get into the official bios, is been a client of mine. She's actually a client both for the predictable revenue sales mentoring and my unique genius work. And the reason why we did this, I did this webinar together, mainly is because within, she'll get into it, but within a short amount of time, she tripled the prior results that they were getting with their lead generation efforts, just her. And she has a great story. She's awesome, and that's really what this is about. I actually, at Salesforce, we had a 500% improvement. So, but definitely triple your results here with this process. So having said that, Marylou, why don't you've got the slide controls, correct?
I got control.
Yeah. Basically, I'll do a little bit of an intro, and then I'll turn over to Marylou. Anyone here on the line don't know about me, I'll do sort of a brief, 60-second run through. So with my bio, the thing that's really relevant here is, I was a CEO. I founded and was a CEO of an internet company. One of the reasons it failed was because I didn't know sales. I hired a VP of sales, but I didn't know it myself. So I decided to really be successful, like to create the company I wanted to, I needed to know sales, like really how to build a killer sales organization. And I went to Salesforce.com in sales, ended up creating a part of their inside sales organization, and specifically the inside sales team that just did outbound prospecting, pure lead generation to create a predictable flow of qualified sales leads, sales opportunities for the salespeople, the closers. And that process team, ended up helping add $100 million in recurring revenue in the first few years of Salesforce, and probably added another $1 billion to their market cap. So it was great. It's highly predictable, provable, auditable results. It almost doubled the growth rate of Salesforce.com's enterprise market. And then I've applied that process to other clients, and so I've seen it work. I basically know it works. It's repeatable, and other people can do it. And that's what Marylou has seen. So let me turn over to Marylou, I love Marylou, fantastic.
I first met Aaron when I was actually brought in to a startup company in the Seattle area. It was a technology company, and they had been really focused on the inbound, what I call the inbound side of marketing. They beefed up their search engine optimization. They did a bunch of white papers, and the whole goal was to get people to come to them as opposed to trying to market outbound. So one of my first directives there was to take their inbound leads, the people who actually went into the website, filled out a form, filled out some information about who they were, and I was supposed to follow up on those. Well, I found very quickly that the customer profile of the people who found us via the web did not in any way match the kind of clients that we wanted to go after. So in my desperation to try to figure out how can I help these people with their shoestring budget, I looked frantically high and low for a resource that I could use and try different things using the internet without having to spend a lot of marketing dollars to get the word out. And that's what led me to Aaron. His process is so simple to use, and I tell you, it's the most enjoyable thing I've ever had to work with in terms of each day as I wake up in the morning and go to my computer and my inbox, I see actual emails from people referring me into places that we normally wouldn't ever get on an inbound side from
Well, we need the lines, Marylou. And this is one of the great things when I was doing it with my team is waking up, opening the computer, and having, as you're saying, like these emails, these leads, referrals waiting for you all up on.
Right. So I thought to myself and to Aaron, I said, this is literally, I started this with them probably 2 months ago, and it took me a while to try to figure out where we needed to focus our efforts, given the amount of retainer that they were paying me, and how to still balance the inbound side. So I really focused on learning Aaron's process, and as he suggests, tried little bits and pieces of things, and had very small wins, and then the wins kept going and going and going to the point now where we have a process in place that literally within less than 90 days, we have tripled our what we call qualified opportunities. And those are accounts, and I'll explain to you what that means. Those are accounts that are qualified for the type of service that this company offers. They are, they have budget. We're talking to the right people, so the authority is there. There's a need. They are going to be buying within the time frame that we set as ideal, and they're a good fit for us. So we went from inbound leads where it just wasn't there for us to now targeted, right on people that we're talking to. And so this is what we want to teach you guys how to do, because it's just such a nice way to work and get new clients into your corporations and companies. So my background is mostly in process. I really enjoy being an engineer. I really enjoy process, and so Aaron's way of selling really fit into the way I work, which is set up a process, work the process, commit to it. You don't have to do everything at once, but just try a few things here and there and keep adding to it. So my background is more on the process side, but I'm also a software developer. I have some clients that I do develop software for, and I love doing surveys. I do a lot of market research surveys and reporting. So that's a whole different side of my life that I still do. And then on the fun side, like Aaron, I'm also involved in triathlon and enjoy that tremendously. So we want you to take away from this really that there are what we think probably more, but three definite fatal lead generation mistakes that are made. And this is not untypical, and I ran up against these in a client up in Seattle and still are fighting some of these battles. The first one especially. The sales roles are not specialized. What that means is you need to have someone dedicated to the outbound side. And it's very important that their rhythm, their daily activities are focused on outbound. When you have inbound and outbound together, or you have your sales reps, your account executives taking over this prospecting role, it just doesn't work very well. I'm fighting the constant battle still of the account executives just working the accounts that I generate for them. It's very difficult for people to see that the old mentality of you've got to pick up that phone and you've got to prospect too, even though you're a sales rep. That old way of doing business just doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, and I mean that's so common. Yeah. Is especially there's a lot of CEOs and VPs of sales. Like I have quota-carrying account executives, sales reps, and they need to generate all their own business. They need to be prospecting. It's like you have your most expensive people doing the least valuable work. Because a lot of this, as we'll show you with the internet, it can be automated. So you really just are working an exception every day. You're just getting the people who have responded to your requests and working them. And the handoff to your account executive really is set up the way it works best for you. In the company up in Seattle, we actually involve the rep on what we call scoping calls, which I'll go through. And those calls introduce the rep in, so you have that rapport. A lot of the fear is I'm not going to be able to build the rapport with the client if the account executive is not involved day one. But I haven't found that to be the case at all. And we've gone through, we've been generating a number of opportunities per month, and we've never had an issue with building rapport for the account executive. Now, again, our sales cycles are a little bit longer, so perhaps that does make sense, but if you have a short sales cycle, it may not be as perfect a scenario, but I haven't found any issue with that at all. Nope, got to specialize. And the second one here is no targeting.
No targeting. Again, I told you that on the inbound side, when they came in through the web, the SEO, the search engine, they weren't qualified in size, they weren't qualified in scope, and the biggest problem that we've had is that we didn't have a way to target who we wanted to go after. So that's one area that if you could take one thing away from today is to really know who you want to market to from an ideal customer profile perspective. And we'll show you some of the things to think about for that. And then, of course, the last one, which we're all guilty of, is that we have a quota. We want to tell them how great we are, but we're not necessarily creating value for them. This program is all about creating value for your prospect. How can you be of service to them instead of what's in it for you?
Great.
So the three things we hope you will learn today is that there's a predictable model, meaning that marketing leads come in three shapes and sizes. We call them spears, nets, and seeds, and I'll go through that as well. But it's mostly the inbound side for PR, word of mouth, and then the outbound side, which we're calling spears, because you're actually throwing it out there. And the best place to start, and the one that you'll have most control over, is the outbound side. I can give you so many examples of where we get held up in marketing when we are trying to get a white paper out or just a quick educational piece. I mean, I'm working on one now that it's taken 6 weeks to get approval on the article that we want to generate in order to get people to sign up on our website. With outbound, you don't have those constraints. You can get started tomorrow. If you have your list,
Get it
and
done.
a few other things, yeah, get it done. And then lastly, we want you to set up a simple process and mostly commit to it. It's like a relationship, you know. You've got to just say, okay, I'm going to do this every day. Create a day in your life. You know, at 9 to 10, I'm going to look at what leads have come in. I'm going to make phone calls. And you're not on the phone all day. I'm not on the phone at all, really. I'm maybe 2 to 3 hours a day. I'm on the phone talking to people, and it's mostly qualified people who want to talk to me about the service that we offer. So you're not banging the phones like it used to be at all. And of course, celebrate when you do win. Celebrate how well you're doing, how much progress you're making, and then fine-tune it. And the internet allows you, and all the tools that are out there now allow you to continually fine-tune.
Also, like,
So
Marylou, one of the reasons that, maybe the main reason, one of the main reasons that you've had so much success with this process is because you are following the process.
Exactly.
I mean, it sounds a little crazy, but I've had clients who don't follow the process, and it's like, if you don't follow the process, then you're not going to get the results. But you're great. You've actually followed it and improved it. So
I have improved it, yes. And you know what's really funny, too, is that when I first started this, I was so nervous about sending out all these emails, and, you know, it took like forever for me to hit that click button to get them out. But once I got over that, now I look forward to it.